So I have a couple questions. What is one of the most common stressors or things that you hear that most glassblowers kind of struggle with, as far as running maybe a business or being an artist or whatever?
Oh fuck, dude, that's tough. That is tough. Let me just.
You can meditate on it.
Yeah,
Meditate
yeah,
on it for a minute.
Ask it one more time, just so
Okay.
I know I have it in the brain.
Okay. So of all the artists you've
Yeah.
interviewed, what's the most common thing you hear people, like, when you get to that point where people are like talking kind of like, man, you know, this is the tough thing I deal with as an artist or running a business. What's one of the most common things you hear across the board from glassblowers that we struggle with? Or
What you said a little bit ago
really
is the guy that, and I'm in that role right now. You literally are fucking trying to do it all,
yeah,
and it's
all
like,
by yourself.
oh yeah.
This is episode 40, I think, right, Ijah? 41. Fuck, dude. See, now I'm losing track of episodes. 41. And speaking of, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 41 of the podcast. Today is a very special episode. We have a guest today. We have Greg from Glass Chat, and Glass Chat's one of my favorite podcasts where they interview glassblowers and talk about, I mean, pretty much anything they want to talk about, but it's interviews with glassblowers in our industry, and we can talk more about that in a little bit. And also, Greg is the owner of 710 Tools. Is that correct?
That's it.
Awesome, dude. And that's actually the tools, if you guys have seen in all my recent videos, pretty much in the last 6 months, I've been using these tools, and I've been loving them. So appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, don't forget, guys, check out bmsglass.com if you're looking for any like merch as far as mood mats, sticker packs. We also have our sign up for our newsletter on there. And if you sign up for that, it'll tell you about upcoming drops, giveaways, podcast episodes, and much more. But yeah, dude, this wedding cake, it's like the profile on it's more of like this, like, when you smell it, it just smells like a really nice creamy OG. But when you smoke it, it has like layers of cinnamon, vanilla, and just like with like a nice, almost like pastry flavor. And it's mouth's watering talking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of my absolute favorites. I'm someone that if I find something I like, I just fucking stick with it.
Yeah.
I don't really get sick of it. I'm a simple guy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Or, you know, it just kind of, it works.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it really does. Like, I'll just go back.
When was the first time you fucking smoked weed, man? How old were you?
So honest fact, let's see, we're going end of sophomore year of high school, so we'll say that was 2001.
Oh shit!
I bought a bag of weed from a guy named Ben at my high school, and it came.
Shout out to Ben.
Yeah, it came in foil. I opened it up, and dude, I kid you not, like I was almost scared. Like I really didn't know what the fuck I was getting into.
Drugs.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I opened it. It had seeds in it. I'll be honest with you, it smelled like shit. So
yeah,
I gave it away.
Yeah,
I didn't consume it.
You're
I was like,
nah,
I just don't. This is not what I thought it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And then I think probably a couple weeks, maybe in a month, went by, and I went over to a buddy's brother's apartment, and I looked over and I was like, "What's that, man?" He's like, "That's a bong. You want to hit it?" And I was like, "Sure." So I fucking took one rip out of this 3-foot bong.
Yeah.
And we were having some beers.
Yeah.
But I really didn't feel nothing. I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't feel nothing. And I even told Brian, my friend, I was like, "Dude, like we went over to your brother's house and I hit that. Like it didn't do anything." And he goes, "Oh, we'll go back tonight." So we went back the next night. Same thing. I remember walking into his brother's kitchen just like, "Oh, fuck yeah."
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I did weed.
Yeah. But then like, fact, and I know like people are out there, and maybe even you or you guys, it just works for me. Like, booze is fine, whatever. But like, it always, just for me, it always ends up just not feeling good.
Oh, I'm more rational when I smoke weed. If I don't smoke weed, I really let my emotions get the best of me. My ego gets a little bit bigger when I don't smoke weed because I think what I want's more important. But when I smoke weed, I'm more conscious of other people's feelings. I'm more aware, like, what my actions do that affect other people, and I try to check myself constantly. It's why I try to keep smoking weed all day so that I'm constantly in that state of being aware of how I'm affecting the people around me, because it's just as important as like, you obviously got to take care of yourself and love yourself, but like I think it's also really important how you affect the people around you. Like, so weed makes me more conscious of that.
There's a movie out. Oh, fuck. I can't remember what it's called. But I think the dude's name is Bradley Cooper, and he takes that blue pill.
Yeah, Limitless.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, take it for what you will.
This is your Limitless Phil.
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah.
In some ways, yeah. It's like my brain is always going. Like I have a really hard time falling asleep. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't sleep long. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do, like not last night, but the night before, was the longest I've slept since I can honestly remember.
Yeah.
Like it was longer than 8 hours.
Yeah.
And that for me is like, fuck yeah, dude. I want to sleep.
If I
that
sleep
night.
8 hours, I don't feel great. I have to sleep, like, if I sleep a long time, I got to sleep exactly 6, but usually it's anywhere from like 4 to 5. But if I sleep more than 6 or 7 hours, I wake up groggy. It's weird. It's like
I feel you.
It's like too much for me.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I'm the same way too. Like my brain is going so fast, so many ideas, so many things I'm working on, that when I smoke weed, it slows me down a little bit.
Yeah.
So that I can hone in on specific tasks that I need to get done in order to achieve what I'm trying to get. Because you can have tons of ideas, but if you don't know which path to follow, you might not be able to achieve any of them. So.
Or like you're talking about 6 things to do. If like me facing 6 things, if I take 2 drags,
Yep.
it'll literally just put me in a state of mind of, okay, you got 6 things to do, homie.
Yeah.
Do this one and complete it.
Yep.
And then do this one. Where sometimes like it happens with, but sometimes like, you know, when I don't consume, it's like I'll literally find myself, I'll be 4 hands deep into 5 or 6 different things, and I'm all scatterbrained and stressed.
And all
like
of a sudden
I
the
can feel
week's
it.
gone by, and you're like, I didn't get anything done. I have everything half done this week. I'm like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of where I get stuck sometimes.
Yeah.
So what are you actually getting into, dude? What'd you pack up?
So this I got from a dispensary on the way back from Grand Junction onto this side of the mountain, just because over on the west side of the mountain, well, let me rephrase that. When we were landed, I went to a dispensary in Idaho Springs, and I couldn't go in.
Yeah.
And so for me, you know, first time
'Cause
being
it was
in
only
Colorado
medical?
with legal,
Yeah.
it was kind of like,
You're like,
So
what
then
the
when we were
fuck?
in Grand Junction, I asked some of them, and they're like, oh yeah, Palisades is like the only place around here you can get weed.
It's like rack.
Yeah. So that was the place I could walk into. And I'd been into other dispensaries, but they're in Vegas, not here. So that was cool. You know, that was cool just to like go in.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
really did like that. And I truthfully, I don't really want to go into the hype stores.
Yeah.
I really don't. I would rather like.
I don't think I've ever been into any of the hype stores in Colorado. I just go to like the dispensaries that have the best like flower and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I look for. Just quality. It doesn't even need to be like the biggest or the best or what tells me the best. Like I just look for what I like, and then the way it smokes in a joint, and if it's good, I just keep going back to the same place until it's not good.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, they've changed something, on to the next thing.
Well, like when you're, so for, I don't know if you know this, or let me ask you, did you listen to the most recent podcast, or Glass Chat with
No,
Soup Glass?
I haven't heard the Soup Glass. What do you have?
Okay, so just for everybody out there listening yourself, I'm officially like sitting in front of you. I'm no longer a shop owner.
Really?
Yeah, I'm no longer a shop owner. January, oh shit. I went to a birthday party with a friend of mine in December, and he was asking me, you know, just straight up honest questions, like, man, how's the shop? How's life? Yada yada yada. And I was being honest with him. You know, being a shop owner that, you know, really focuses on independent made art, like truthfully,
Very hard.
You can make money. Let's be honest, you can make money, but the real thing is, and I wish schools taught this, and I wish people knew this, but when you're a business owner, you know, on a small business level, you get paid last. Or if you let me even say this: if you want the business to fucking work,
You don't get paid.
you get paid last. And then, like you said, you don't get paid because you want it to keep going and growing and keep growing and keep growing. So you just shovel more money down the pipe. And yeah, man, October of last year, it was rough. There was a real long dry spell as far as sales go.
Yeah.
Numbers were way down.
Yeah.
Like depressing, like fucking eating me alive. My dad just retired last year, so my parents surprised the whole family to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
So we're in Disney World, and I'm not lying. Like, had a great time in Disney World, but there was half of me that wasn't even there.
Yeah, because you're stressed out about your business.
No, literally fucking stressed out about payroll.
Payroll, yeah. Oh,
Like
okay,
literally,
yeah.
like
Payroll,
it
yeah.
was that fucking line, like
Yeah.
razor's edge, where it's like, man, those numbers when I look at them tonight, when we get back to the hotel, they got to be here. Otherwise, like I'm gonna have to fucking call the bank, transfer funds over out of my personal, which is already shit.
Yeah.
At that time.
At that time, yeah.
And it was like, so anyways, let's go a little bit forward. So I met my friend in, December, and he goes, well, I'm going out of town. When I get back, let's have a chat. And so we did. And he goes, what do you think about selling the shop? And I was like, man, I've never thought about that. Like if you were Kevin and sitting across from me, I'd be like, I never thought about it.
Yeah, it wasn't even an option.
Yeah.
It was like all or nothing, just going for it.
So he pitched me a deal to, if I could sell the shop, he was going to give me an opportunity to take some of my online value, like learning how to do, e-commerce, learning how to do the social media stuff. He offered me a gig to pay me a salary, which was, a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Some safety, some sort of like consistency. That's what I think salary.
Yeah, and it was almost not so much for me. It was, and I'm not gonna lie, it was for me, but a lot of the influence had to be was on my family.
Always, dude. Everything I do,
and that was real. That's real shit. But anyways, I was in Las Vegas in January, and I was there full head on as a shop owner. Like, I was telling some of my homies out there, like, hey, this might be going down. Yeah. But don't know yet. But I was full on, still in shop mode. I got back the day after Las Vegas ended, and I don't remember what that date was, but I will be flat honest with you, February 12th. So COVID wasn't even really a big thing yet.
Yeah. We were still, it was just starting to get over here hearing about it and stuff, I
had found a buyer. Mm-hmm. We agreed to a verbal deal. Yeah. And then that deal the deal got signed like 4 days before March 1st. Okay. So effective March 1st of 2020, my shop, which I started, which was known as KB Vapors, it's now KB Culture Shop. That is, I guess you could say that I'm still a majority shareholder because it's a royalty payoff. For sure. But other than the owner calling and asking questions, like just for help, no, I'm no longer hustling glass on the daily.
It's a really tough gig, especially, I mean, even from the glass blower's point of view, like it's tough, man. It's like there's all different formulas of success in this industry, whether it's like they say make 50 spoons and then apprentice this person and be in this shop for this many years. But I think nowadays, like, we kind of have to build our own paths of success. We can't maybe follow the same model anymore just because it's tough, man. Like, this industry, because it's art, it's like, if, say the artist is like crushing, and then life happens, and then they get to this, and they want to do this and travel, and then all of a sudden they haven't been on Instagram active for 5 months. Yeah. It's really weird in this industry, but I see if that happens, that the consumers and the buyers, like, it might lose value on the product that's on the shelves because that person's not active anymore. And then that can hurt the shop owners that have a bunch of glass from these people if that person's not posting and talking to customers. And because it's now, and this is one thing about internet nowadays, it's a great thing to connect us all, but because everything's so connected, there's so many options nowadays. And if people don't feel connected with certain brands, it's hard for them to jump on board. And like, one thing I'm running into is like not having glass available and people getting frustrated.
Yeah, but
and that's
you're like, one man.
Yeah, well, and I got my guys, I got Keymasters hanging out this day, and I got Cormac, and they're helping me with prep, but like, I would need help making physical pieces.
Oh, yeah, man.
Like, to actually, because like realistically, it helps me cut corners when I have guys at prep, but like, to get as far as getting like more pieces to the public, like, it's not possible unless there's more hands physically making them. And I think that's something that'll eventually happen with like Cormac and Keymaster and anyone else that joins us, but it's like not anything I'm trying to rush either, because I want to build a strong foundation for the future. Like, I'm not trying to get rich quick. I'm trying to build something I can be proud of and something that has some stability for anyone involved. Yeah. And if we just try to like crank it out or do the easy path, I feel like it's going to be a flimsy tower with a weak base, and that's not what I'm trying to do. Yeah. So yeah, but like, that's one of the problems, like, just like, you know, keeping people happy and like running into stuff like that, like not being able to produce enough glass. But yeah, as far as like being a shop owner, dude, I hear from a lot of shop owners, it's a tough gig, and same thing with the glass blowers. This is just a hard industry. I'm really grateful that I'm busy right now, but I always tell people, like, I'm never going to stop unless like I die or something. But even if I never stop, being successful or having bursts of success, it's temporary. It's not forever.
Okay.
That's how I look at things. So I
Yeah.
always tell people like, man, you're crushing. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not forever. So remember, like, you
Yeah.
might be the guy next year or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I try
this.
to, yeah, I
It's
try to be
not
aware.
this.
Yeah. And maybe it will be. Some people
Yeah.
do, but like, I try not to have like this thought that like, oh yeah, I'm doing good now. Going to be doing good forever. I'm like, no, I have this thought that I'm like, I'm grateful that I did good this week, but next week might be hard.
Fuck yeah.
Like, because that's almost my upbringing. I listened to a TED talk about like poor mentality and people that grew up with like maybe not a lot of money and stuff, and the way they look at money and the way they look at things, they don't like, when they make some money, they're like, this is all I got. Like they're like scared of losing it. They don't think that next week there's another check coming.
Yeah.
They think that this is all I have right now. Even if I work all week, that doesn't mean I'm gonna get paid.
Yeah.
Whereas like people that have had money and grew up with money, they have like this a longer, they can look farther out in the future of like the financial path. Like, oh, I know I get paid this, this, and this, and I invest here, and they know how to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a poor mentality, and I'm crushing and working hard, and it's like, I don't know, it's like it's a weird trap I'm in.
Well, and I'm just going to rewind with what you said a little bit ago, like with glass artists, you know, and in Instagram. It's a delicate dance, man. I think that I'm not a glass blower by any means. Like, I literally can stay here and stand in, like, dude, I haven't coil potted.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't. I've been like standing over the shoulder of somebody watching some shit happen, but nothing major. But man, being that middleman, especially when you're trying to create, I guess, a gallery style, and you can't buy from everybody.
No.
And then doing glass chat, it's like, there is a underlying relationship between you and I before I even showed up in your driveway today.
Yeah, because we had a conversation before.
Yeah, and they're intimate.
Yeah,
like some of them, when you listen to them, everybody's relationship and the way people socialize is different.
Of course.
But man, I really think that I have a really nice understanding now, sitting here in front of you, of both sides of the industry, and man, it is such a delicate dance. It really is.
Like, maintaining a social media following, posting, and then also, but being the middleman, like you're saying, it can be a real challenge because you have to like buy the right buys at the right time, and you have to move them in the right time. If they sit more than 12 days, now it's stuck. Yeah. Like, it has to be like calculated, and the glass blower has to be willing to calculate with you as far as posting and like pushing people towards it. Like, that was a big thing like that my wife does, is like, when people email us, like, we're directing people to the shops that have the glass. We're letting them know the drop dates. We're letting them know what they're getting. We're even sometimes, like, someone would be like, man, I really want an orange piece. Like, okay, we're going to send an orange one. Try to get it. Okay. Like, you know, people were, like, when we sold out some really big drops. And, like, the one we did at Heady Hawaii that was 93 pieces in 7 minutes, that was all calculated. That was us working for months on pieces. That was Heady Hawaii working for over a month on like just like getting it all on there and organizing it right, making sure the website can handle it. That's Cassie, my wife, communicating with all different customers, saying this is how it's happening, keeping everyone in the loop. Okay. So most of these glass blowers are doing it by themselves.
Yeah, they are.
These guys are shipping, they're customer service, they're artists, they're doing everything by themselves. It's impossible to have that level of communication with people to tell them what's happening, when it's happening, organization, unless you're like doing speed or something and you're superhuman. Yeah. To be able to do that, you need help. Yeah. So a lot of these guys, and it's really tough to ask for help because a lot of these people have probably been taken advantage of anytime they've tried to get help. It's a really tough, like you say, it's a tough dance, or what, I don't know, what was the phrase you said? It's a delicate dance. Yeah, man,
it really is.
It's hard. So a lot of these people are running their businesses by themselves. I have help. Like me and my wife, we started together from day one. We bought our torches the same day. We did everything together, side by side. She used to blow glass, and then slowly she became full customer service because she saw that like we were slacking there. So she's like, I guess I have to get off the torch.
But the added value, that bucket, or if you could put them in buckets, you know, glass, customer service, yada, 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 and they all lead to income and a successful business. Yeah, for sure. She recognizes like, hey, that bucket's empty. Or it has very little water in it. I need to go fill that fucking thing up. Absolutely. And so that way, you know, it can start to grow up.
100%. And that's one thing I think a lot of these guys, like, they might see me like posting or selling out drops. And it's so much more than just like posting a lot on Instagram. Like that's part of it, but there's like so much of just like coordinating with customers and letting them know where shit is.
Posting gets you so far. It does. It's harder now, obviously, because Instagram isn't what it was, in 15, 16. It's not even the same as it was in 18.
I ask how much people they invest in the algorithm, how much money.
Yeah.
Literally, how much money physically, because I do giveaways. I give away anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 worth of glass a year that I could sell.
Yeah.
And do something to my house with, but I'm giving away because I'm like, I need to invest in this algorithm. I need to invest in this platform if I really want physical return from it.
So let me then ask you this. So you say, for your mind,
yeah,
you doing a giveaway is you investing in the algorithm.
Those are investments.
Okay. Just so I can understand that.
Yeah.
Can you kind of just roll with that for a minute and explain that to me?
Yeah. So for me, when I do a giveaway and I'm making a piece and like I'm excited while I'm making the piece, I'll spend 8 hours on it. I'll spend a whole day on a piece and just have fun making it, even though I'm not going to get physically money. Uh-huh. But when I give it away, the way I do the giveaways too is I don't ask people to do anything. You do not have to post my shit. Don't tell your friends. Don't tag anyone. Be selfish. Just you enter it. I don't care. The less you ask of people, the better result you get.
Yeah, less conflict.
So, less conflict, but also you get more people entering. Because it's the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is like and say dibs, okay, sweet, and I'm on with my day. I don't have to like post something and think about what my mom's gonna think that I posted a pipe and my grandma follows me. No, I just said dibs on some fucking random post and I might win a pipe low key. Mm-hmm. So how it's an investment for me is when I give away a piece, it's a write-off.
I understand that.
We cannot write off the retail value of the piece, but we can write off the wholesale value of it.
Yep. Time, supplies.
Time and supplies, whatever. We can write that off. And we write it off as an advertisement write-off.
Get that.
So we get a write-off we do. That's one return. But then like the other physical returns, I get people looking at my shit. I don't need anyone to buy the shit. That's the thing. When you're doing these giveaways, it's not to make physically people buy stuff. You want people to just see it. It's like the Nike symbol. Even if you don't wear Nike, we all know what it is.
Well, no, but going back to one post, which is for one giveaway and for fucking with the algorithm, you just need that one post, that one giveaway to get as much action as you can possibly get. And so eliminating all the bullshit.
I do them a certain amount of times and it keeps my account pushing in the algorithm. I force it because Instagram doesn't like the pipe accounts. You have to really you have to force your way through that door with power. What I do is I do these powerful giveaways that'll get 17,000 entries in 10 hours. And then it's like, holy shit, 17,000, I'll get more comments than a World Star hip hop video.
So how you rationally in your brain, how'd you figure that out?
In 2016, I went through a really tough time where we weren't selling glass. So basically from 2013 to 2016, we were booked out for 6 to 8 months in advance, just selling glass. And all of a sudden 2016 hit. None of the shops wanted reorders. No one was reaching out. My posts were getting 46 likes. It was just really depressing. And no one was caring. No one was smoking my glass. That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, well, no one's smoking my glass. When I see a car I like, it's because I'm seeing all these different people driving. I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
If no one's smoking my glass, no one can fucking see how it looks. So what I did, I bought a lot of hash. Well, actually, it was growing at that time. I had jars of hash. So I had a lot of hash, and I was like, I'm going to take dab videos all day on my glass.
Okay.
If no one's going to smoke it, I'll smoke it.
Yeah.
And I'll post the videos. So I started doing that. And then I realized, I was like, okay, so no one's buying my work. I was like, I need to just start giving it away. I was like, if they won't buy it, I need to just give it to them. Try it. It's like a salesman that gives you a vacuum. He's like, just try it for a week. I promise you'll love it. And then I started doing shit like that, started doing giveaways. All of a sudden, my followers started going up and people started asking for glass because with the giveaway, everyone enters it. And if a certain percentage of people really liked the piece, say you have 10,000 people, or say you have 1,000 people enter, and then only 10 of them, there was 10 in there, they're like, fuck, I really wanted to win that. I really liked that piece. It was perfect. I'd never seen these before. You just got 10 buyers. Even though you had to give away a piece and 1,000 people looked at it, but only 10 wanted it. It's a slow grind, but you do that monthly and you keep grinding, you build it. Then you have hardcore collectors. You get them more glass. They have multiple pieces. They tell their friends. It's a consistency thing. And if you're not willing to do that for years consistently, you can look at my thing. I've been posting for 6 years, every single day, nonstop, working. It's a consistency thing.
Yeah.
I look at if you're I said this on your podcast because it's one of the things that I think in my head how I kind of rationalize it. If you look at a herd of animals running, you don't have to be the biggest, the strongest. As long as you have enough willpower to just keep running. When everyone gets tired, just keep running. If you're the last one, by the time you get to the end of the race, that's all that matters. You don't need to be the biggest, the strongest. You don't need to be the most talented artist. You just got to be the craziest and the hardest working.
So yeah, because I would say
it's resilience, not lasting. It's a long
and you have to be
game.
agile.
It's a long
You have
game.
to be able to literally hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
And you know, it can take you a few days. It can take you honestly a few months to figure it out.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to
Years.
understand when you hit that brick wall, you can just, you know, backpedal. And sometimes a backpedal means you're going to take a few L's.
Oh, dude, my backpedal was interesting. A lot of people are like, when I hit a wall and wasn't selling anything, I was like, I guess I got to make something new. And I was like making all this really complicated shit. And the problem was I priced myself out of the market. I had a bunch of buyers. And then every year the glass got more and more expensive and more complicated. I was spending a week or 2 weeks per piece.
Okay.
And I was like, this is no way to pay your bills. It's fun to be an artist, but I don't want to be a starving artist, especially because I have a family. It's not fair to your family to be a starving artist. If you want to be a single person that's in your apartment and be a starving artist, cool, like live in that place. But if you have people that rely on you, that you feed, that's selfish and irresponsible to be a starving artist. You need to make moves to take care of those people. It's just what it is. Think about us as if we're cavemen. We're the men. We have to go outside and fight the monsters. Even if we don't want to, we have to. That's our purpose. That's what we are.
That's real true.
So it's what it is. And I always say nowadays, instead of throwing spears at the monsters, we throw paper at the bill collectors, and those are the monsters. So that's what it's just. We're doing that. We're all just cavemen still doing the same fucking thing. But for me, I stepped back and I was like, I can't make something new because it's going to keep getting more complicated because I've gotten so techie with my work. If I make something new, it's going to be still really technical.
Is that when you started really putting a lot of detail in the drains and it actually
that's
like plumbing?
Yeah,
like
all the crazy plumbing and like all the crazy
Yeah.
seals and there was just wild shit and people were loving it, but they weren't buying it. Like people would like the posts. People would say, awesome, this is so crazy. You're so good at that. And yeah, that strokes the ego, but that doesn't fix the bank account. So like,
now let me interrupt politely.
Yeah.
So for the homies out there that might want that, you still make that?
I make
Okay.
I make
Yeah.
crazy shit still.
Yeah.
Now the crazy shit sells, no
Yeah, it
problem.
does.
But because I had to build that up. But
Let me ask you, just because I remember, do you have that fucking monster that you made around here?
the Titans right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's next to that fire extinguisher over there.
Can we just bring that over here? Just
Yeah,
'cause
dude.
I want to see that in daylight or in light.
I should grab that for us.
I just want to kind of smile at that thing.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty fucking crazy. Holy shit. Too much coffee. My wife gave me this tincture this morning that's supposed to help with focus, and all it did was make me shake.
Today
Yeah.
or that day?
No, today.
Oh, okay.
Like, she's
Okay.
like, you're doing an interview with Greg. Like, here's this tincture. It's like rosemary and shit. I'm like, all right. And I did it, and I'm like, fuck. This was benched too. It never went in a kiln. So it's got some, like, imperfection, little stress cracks here and there. But I'm looking at finding a bigger kiln because we're making our studio bigger, and I want to find a long flat kiln so I can make giant pieces for people. I literally just cleaned that water a couple days ago, and the 3 dabs I took on it to take a video just murked it out instantly. I'll pull on it if you want to see her spin some water, bro, in person.
Oh yeah, I just like look. I
You
mean,
hear the power.
see, I think you can honestly like no bullshit. Once you become like an independent art buyer
Yeah.
and reseller, it's interesting because you have people that don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And if you respect your customer base, you have to kind of accommodate them.
Dude.
And then you
Yeah.
have the guy that comes in and he wants, you know, the 150 range, and then you have to have the 300 range, and then the 5 to 6 range, and then if you feel like you can adventure higher than that, then you deal, you know, that 800,000, and then after, pretty much for me, it was like after 1,200, it pretty much was like, all right, fuck it, the guy's just gonna throw a whole bunch of money at it.
I tell a lot of like people too. It's like, well, I tell like other glass blowers or like people I talk to about business stuff. I'm like, once you've made a piece that's $1,000, you've immediately eliminated a massive part of the market that would potentially buy your work. That's like I've made more clear ones than I've made colored ones. Like I feel like you don't see a lot of artists that are making clear production and then also doing like high end, like heady stuff because they only want to do the art stuff. But I'm willing to still wash the dishes and I'll make that fucking like 5-star meal too.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do both in the kitchen because it's important to me to make sure that all bases are covered because this stuff right here, my clear stuff, I love so much because it's like the one way that like not everyone can afford a
Can I pick
5.
that up?
Yeah, dude, take stuff. Look, that's one of the newer clears that I just put together yesterday with the sandblasting and stuff. Playing around with it, but they're coming out really, 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 really clean now. I'm really stoked on them. But yeah, like not everyone can afford a $400 or $500, $600 piece, but if you can afford an Xbox, I always tell people you could save up for 6 months and afford a clear RBR, and you'll be able to experience all the function.
Retail?
Retail, the new ones, I think they're around five to 600 somewhere, but they come with the newer style bubble cap and everything, which they're really nice bubble caps. They're all like lathe made and stuff.
And the full colors are about what? How much?
They're about double the price, but that's because we put a pound of color into it, and then like all the time, like really like from a business standpoint, the margins are much better on the clear than the color. The color we technically actually would make more on a clear than we would a freaking colored piece, because there's so much money and material and time paying people to like prep stuff, and then the bare pulp on the side of them. It's like all these different like things.
Well, and so I would say that,
and this is a mini too. This is like think of this full color. It's a big beefy piece of glass.
Yeah, dude. And I would say that, and take it for what you will. I would say that you're a master craftsman. You're a master artisan. You can do it. You're dialed in. Dude. Yeah, man. But you even have L's. Like you'll even be over here, and you'll lose it.
I break stuff all day, bro. I broke stuff last night.
But it can be fucking basically done.
Well, I tell this is where a lot of artists might maybe get a little hung up too, is that I tell people like you have to be willing to work 16 hours a day and only get paid for 8. So when I go to work, I only get paid for one shift. The other shift is to cover, something got stolen in the mail. Of course, I'm going to replace it for my customer and take that out. Something broke. Someone dropped this. You want to replace this. A big opportunity came up. You need to send a piece to this person. So I make sure that I work, 8, 10, 12, 16 hours a day, because I'm only going to get paid for half of the day I work. The other half's going to go towards some bullshit.
That's going to be a loss.
It's going to be a loss. Every day is a loss. Every day you take half the day is a loss. And if you have that mentality to work like that, you will have enough money where if shit goes sideways, you have to refund a customer. You have to take time to remake a broken piece. You can keep everyone happy while still having your bills paid, but you got to work and not sleep.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they like going out. They like playing video games, or they like being human, which is way healthier. I tell people, don't do what I do.
Yeah.
Don't do what I do.
Yeah.
It's not smart. There's way easier ways to make a living.
Let me politely interrupt you. And minus the homies in here.
Yeah.
And, to all the friends on Instagram, all the friends that support him. But like on the real, dude, how many fucking people outside of glass, no glass, take glass out of the topic. How many people outside of your home do you fucking talk to?
No one.
Exactly. You have where you are and where I guess in some cases I am, but just in a whole different space is, yeah, dude, real shit. Like my one friend that literally recently, because my life has changed, the last year, one friend, and that's just because he's, I think, wanting me to get back into working out, because I used to be a huge, massive workout guy. But in the same boat, everything else topic wise is either for the family or for work.
Oh, bro,
that's it.
If you were able to get inside my brain, you would literally see a guy in a loincloth with a spear just going through a jungle, just finding
firefighting,
just fighting and finding shit for his material or for his family, finding materials, killing animals.
You're always problem solving.
No, I am primal, because dude, years ago, we all have our shit. Everyone has trauma and things they've gone through. And just years ago, I just kind of shut the doors of the fucking Wonka factory, and I was like, I don't want to talk to no one. I'm just going to work. My purpose on earth is to protect and take care of my wife, and then anything that is involved with her, like the babies that we make and stuff, that's it. That's my only purpose. If I get to make art while I'm doing that, amazing. But my one purpose is to keep walking forward, no matter how tired and sore I am. You just keep walking until you don't anymore. And then it's over.
I wanted to ask you this, because I've been following you for a while, and I just mentioned working out. One thing, I was actually thinking about this, and I did want to ask you, do you fight anymore? Because I know you used to be big into fighting.
No, I did jujitsu. Oh my God, I can't even talk, bro. I did jujitsu for a little bit, and I did boxing for a bit. I've done all sorts of different stuff, but more the reason I was doing that jujitsu thing, this was when I was working, like, this was disgusting what I was doing and what I was
Oh,
trying
I know.
to
I
do.
could see.
So what I was doing was the only reason I did jujitsu was like this like self like abuse thing. I was like, I want to see what I can handle, but I want to get something out of it.
Okay.
So I was working 7 days a week to 3, 4 in the morning. Then I'd wake up at 6 and I would do 2 hours jujitsu and then get back to work. So I was only like sleeping like 3 hours a night and then training every morning. And then the guy I was doing jujitsu with, now he's a glass blower. Actually, the guy that was running the school,
Okay.
I taught him a couple things. He bought a torch. Now he blows glass in his garage all day. And he's like almost a black belt. Like he's a
No
monster.
shit.
It's so crazy. The people like,
Yeah.
And the guy that built my fence around my house,
Okay.
he now is blowing glass full time in his garage. Like
That's cool.
I'm converting other hardworking fanatics like myself that are good in other fields to blow glass. So these are probably monsters you'll see in the future. But yeah, he was like watching me and he was just basically like, he's like, dude, like, he's like, if you're going to come here, you have to sleep. He's like, this isn't like, you're not even
he was
here.
actually telling
Like,
you.
this is like, you're like, and I was doing 90-minute hot yogas too while I was doing all and not sleeping. I was just trying to see like what my fat ass could handle. I was like, it was just this really weird place I was in. It was before my daughter got here. And like, it was almost trying to see what I'm capable of. Am I capable of being a dad? Am I capable of taking care of a family? Like, what hell can I go through and what can my body withstand?
Yeah.
I needed to know what I was capable of. So if shit hit the fan, like if my family was like, we need money, everything's falling apart, I needed to know that I'm capable of not sleeping for 3 or 4 days and creating things and just working like an animal.
Yeah.
And just, I needed to know what I was capable of.
Yeah.
And it was also like a little bit of like, I was just like in this weird place, you know? Growing up, it's weird, bro.
No, it actually makes I relate a lot to it because I don't know. There's a race out there that's called an Ironman.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's quite popular now. It really is. But not taking anything away from anybody who's just wanted to finish one, but like, your physical performance is different than mine.
Yeah.
So you're going to execute that differently than I might. And at your age where you're at, if you went to go train for an Ironman at like peak level, with top equipment and all that stuff, your performance is still going to be different than mine, just based on physical stature.
Absolutely.
And you're not like you're an all day, everyday professional athlete. Yeah. But I mean, that's what I did. I mean, I literally, I was a paid triathlete.
You did Ironman?
Yeah, I've done 2 full Ironmans.
Holy fuck, dude.
I've been hit by 3 cars on my bicycle.
Bro, get a car, stop riding a fucking bike.
But that's almost the same place.
Yeah.
Because you're training 400.
It's a dark place.
400 miles a week,
like,
though.
Yeah.
So you're like, people are like, how long does that take you? And it's like, no, dude, you're literally fucking isolated to your own thoughts. Or if you choose to music, the first Ironman I did, I never trained with music ever.
Yeah.
Everything was in my own head. So my head's a weird space as well because
dude, can
you be alone that long in that space and can it be healthy?
Yeah. I wonder that too. But what I wonder too is like when you're alone that long, if you're someone that's constantly watching like TED Talks, podcasts, and now you're getting so much information, then you start analyzing yourself and everything you're doing. The problem with being alone too long and too focused and in your own head is you start to poke holes in everything around you and overanalyze everything, and that can be a slippery slope.
Yeah, you can.
You know what I mean? So, and then the weed doesn't help with some people. I know friends that now don't smoke anymore because of anxiety.
Yeah.
They have issues because when they're just sitting there thinking, they just go down that slippery slope.
Yeah.
But yeah, being alone that long, I don't think it's good for anyone. I think humans are we're a community creature. We're supposed to be together. And I'll tell you why. That's one thing I'm probably so on Instagram and so addicted to it, because that's my window into feeling like I'm having human connection.
If that
makes
social,
sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm stuck in this garage working. Well, I want to be here though. I want to just, when I was a kid, I used to do the same thing. I would just be in my parents' basement all day painting models, like just by myself for hours. Like, and my dad would be like, he's just so focused down there. He just paints, just doesn't stop. So I've always had this really weird personality where I just like get lost in my work. And like, I'm just thinking about life, philosophy, and while I'm creating, and this is my closest reality to creating something that will last forever. And this is, people could find my work in 3,000 years and dig it up. And this is how I find immortality through, creations that I've thought in my head and then manifested into reality.
When you, me more now than ever, because, I am, I have a brand, and I'm not really selling somebody else's work anymore. I'm selling something that, you know, I did. You know, I contacted these people. I facilitated this. I, you know, recommended this.
Feels good, doesn't it?
I will, any glass artist out there or anybody that's ever made anything that they really had passion for, that they, you know, you can't just go, you know, slap some shit on something and sell it. But like, if you really thought it out.
You can, but that doesn't last the test of time.
No, but you really didn't think it out that much.
Yeah.
No, but if you really thought it out and you really had all of you in it and somebody was willing to buy it.
Yeah.
Man, that is a feeling that is...
I tell people I wish they could put it in a pill form so everyone could feel that. Making something and then having people like buy it, especially like making something with your hands and like having people like want it and buy it and like feeling like it's a very primal thing. I like I'd say, I feel like I run on a primal level and I get it. For me, one of the most primal things for humans, what we just want the tribe to accept us and feel appreciated. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, man.
In our little tribe, that's all we want. Hey, we love you because you make the best bread.
Yeah.
Hey, you're great at hunting. Awesome, we love you. But if you're not appreciated and loved, that's where sadness, anger brews, and it creates, you know, resentment and hatred. And that's one issue with like, you know, sometimes like our country, this is a whole different thing, but our country's so big now that like, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't feel appreciated, loved. They weren't picked to get on the dodgeball team. They don't feel like they're part of anything. Yeah. And that's a problem. You know, people need to feel more part of something. But yeah, dude.
Well, and you saying that, and this is real, like what you were saying that in my head is even nonverbal. You know, most of us are wearing masks. You know, Evan and I are, you know, we're about 6 feet apart, maybe a little closer. That's okay. But you know, out.
My doctor came through the COVID test right before this.
Out in the wild, we're wearing masks. But man, like even human contact, you know, simply just giving somebody nucks, or
dude.
Even like a fucking hug. As goofy as that may sound, but like a fucking hug, just human contact. We don't even have to say anything.
It's primal, dude.
Oh, dude, it's so ingrained in us, and the fact that where we are, like with shit right now, it's weird, you know. And I traveled from St. Louis to basically do a sales run out here for 710 Tools throughout the whole state, and I've been safe. I've been smart. Everybody in the state of Colorado, everybody on the flights, airlines and stuff. Man, if you're fucking just smart, we can all get along, and we can.
Dude, I see a lot of people being really cautious about it. But yeah, the one thing I miss is all the like, there's micro like expressions that we're missing with not seeing our faces.
Oh yeah, dude.
And like, but you know what? If we have to do this for a couple years, whatever, to make sure everybody's safe, I don't give a fuck. It's what it is. And I say that because it's easier for me because I don't leave my garage.
Yeah, I know. It's like you don't ever walk out there.
I feel bad for anyone that has to wear them all day at work. God, it must be a challenge. So,
I honestly,
so that's why I try not to give my opinion, because I've worked very hard to create this little bubble I live in that it's like safe. It's how I want it to be. Yeah, and that's why I don't communicate with a lot of like, I don't have a lot of friends anymore or anything, just because maybe I just didn't have the right friends at the time. Just a lot of people would just. I think that I'm not a good friend. I think that's the issue, is because like I can't have friendships anymore right now in this point in my life because I can't put the time into being a good friend. I can't if someone needed to call me and come and talk, I have a kid, dude. I got this. I can't be a good friend.
No, that's real shit.
So for me, I just try to avoid it, and it's like really weird. Like I shut people out because I'm like, if I can't be a good friend to you, I don't want to get your hopes up.
But it's not on purpose at all.
No, it's because of my circumstances with life.
No, I got it.
Like I'm not just taking care of my household. Like we all have our shit we're dealing with, but like tough year, you know. I'm taking care of other family members too.
Yep.
So it's just what it is. So I got to work like an animal. Got to do my thing. But and I have to be really responsible with my time, because when I first moved to Colorado, one thing that happened to me is I first got here, I met so many people already knew me from Instagram. They want to hang out, they want to sesh. I'm seshing with everyone, having a great time, and all of a sudden after 6 months, I'm like, I don't have any money. How are we going to pay our bills this month?
Yeah.
Because I was spending so much time just having fun and hanging out with people and trying to make friendships that it just fucked me up and my family's lives up. And then at the end of it, I'm like, I don't even talk to any of these people anymore. I'm like, the real friends will come into my life the way they're supposed to come into my life. I can't force this shit. I was like, I have a older brother, but he's like half brother, and he's a lot older than me. He's like in his 40s, so growing up, he wasn't in the house with me. So I grew up like an only child out in the middle of nowhere in like dairy farm areas around Bear Mountain, upstate New York. And so for me, I would even ask my parents, I'm like, can you guys have a fucking baby or something? Like I need like a sibling, I need a friend, I need someone to fucking hang out with.
Yeah.
So instead I would just go in my basement and paint models for hours and just obsess over like creating things.
And then you picked up skating.
Oh yeah, I got super obsessed with that. Like that was my whole life. Like I was at Woodward Skate Camp every summer for like 4 summers, and I was sponsored. I was like, it was my whole life. Even when I lived in New York City, skateboarding was my whole life there. Like I just, every day, I like worked for Element. I would just skate every day, smoke blunts under the Manhattan Bridge, skate LES, pro skaters every day, hanging out with pro skaters. You'd be on the subway, you look across, there's a pro skater just sitting there, going to the same spot as you. We're going together. Like, it's fucking crazy. But yeah, skateboarding, I was obsessed with that. And then I moved back home from New York City, and I like in New York City, I tried really good weed for the first time when I was skateboarding with people. This is literally kind of how I got really, really into weed. And the weed was so fire, and then I had to move back home because my wife was done with college, and we couldn't afford our apartment anymore in Brooklyn because it was just too expensive. So we moved back to upstate New York, and I couldn't find good weed. And like all my friends, I'd been gone. Like everyone moved on to other things. Like I didn't know anyone. So I got really into like YouTube, watching like YouTube cannabis videos and stuff, and just smoking weed in my office and watching YouTube videos. And that's kind of how I got obsessed with like the whole weed industry. And then I was like, oh, there's like a community that I could get into. And I was like still that like little kid, like looking for like friends or companionship. And I loved like just like how I felt when I smoked weed and all these things. And I just got really into it. And like it just kind of progressed into glass. And then now I find that I've grinded so hard to like, cause my drive was to find like, you know, people to find a place to feel accepted. Now it's like, I think I found it, but it's through a social media platform. So it's somewhat artificial. It's like they could delete my account and then that's done. And like,
so then let me politely just ask you, if it goes away, you don't think you'd still feel accepted?
Yeah, it's weird, dude. I don't know. Or I wouldn't have that like tool that I can like plug into and be like, okay, like I'm accepted somewhere.
Well, so from me to you, how I view you in this industry and how I view your art in this industry, I think that you should get that thought out of your head, because I think if your IG went away, I think that you would be. I think you're accepted as like a. Yeah. No, I don't think you should feel that way.
We all have our weird things.
No,
though,
man.
Like
I'm just trying to tell you, like pat you on the back,
for
dude.
Sure.
No.
I was just trying to give you some of the psychology behind the grind and the craziness of working like.
But that's you.
Yeah.
And I think that you and I have that common ground, and I think that. It's just that. It's really that simple. I think that's something that you and I have in common. And, you know, whether don't even talk about money. Yeah, let's just leave that off the table.
Oh, I tell people that, like, I don't work this hard for money. This is like a weird obsession, too. Like, money happens. Yeah. You could be picking up dog shit for 18 hours a day and you're going to make some money. Yeah. It doesn't matter. If you're doing anything that hard and nonstop and that relentless, it's going to happen. Yeah. But it's more of this really weird, like, because money, if it was just for money, I don't think I'd work so late. I think I would like stop working earlier and then go play video games or something. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I feel part of my thing is like I feel a need that I have to post something dope every day. So like I'll stay up extra late to make sure I have something cool to post. So like it motivates me every day to post, whereas I see other glassblowers may only post a couple times a month. Yeah. And that's dope. They're following more of that like formula of the artist. I'm gonna have less posts. It's just refined, beautiful photos of my art, and that's awesome. People love looking at art. Yeah. But is that enough to pay your bills? Just people looking. I know it's all selling. Yeah. But we need to look at big picture things. Like when you're taking care of a family, you're like scaling it. This is all like really business shit, so it's kind of boring. But I don't know. It's the stuff I think about because I can't. I'm so terrified of having my daughter and my wife look at me and even like me failing them, like not being able to pay for something. Like I'll fucking die.
No, I feel that.
Like I can't do it. So I'm terrified of that. So half my grind is fear. I tell people, but like you're watching someone that's terrified running from a fucking monster, and they're just picking up things and just running as hard as they can because they're terrified. Yeah. Like that's what you're witnessing. If you look at my Instagram, you just see a scared person working their ass off. They're just trying to make sure they don't fail their family, and they're letting you all watch it happen. Like it's.
I can relate to that in some aspect. I really can. Yeah.
And now we make a podcast. Where are we at? 55, 45. We're crushing, dude. We're killing it. I gotta know.
So you guys do these at like these set timed, or do you guys just
we
let
don't
these
have
go?
we let them go for a little bit, but like we try to keep it. We try to make sure we do at least an hour.
Okay, yeah.
It's important. If it's really good, we just let them roll though. But for
Tight.
the most part, we just try to stay around an hour,
Cool.
so a little over.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to know, since you've talked to so many glass blowers, you said you've done over about 90 episodes now.
So the one that for the sake of where we are right now today, episode 91 is up with Soup Glass, Bob and Tom, two brothers out of New Jersey. And if I fuck that up, sorry guys.
So I have a couple questions. What is one of the most common stressors or things that you hear that most glass blowers kind of struggle with, as far as running maybe a business or being an artist or whatever?
Oh fuck, dude, that's tough. That is tough. Let me just.
You can meditate on it.
Yeah.
On it
Ask it one more time, just so
Okay.
I know I have it in the brain.
Okay. So of all the artists you've
Yeah.
interviewed, what's the most common thing you hear people like when you get to that point where people are like talking kind of like, man, this is the tough thing I deal with as an artist or running a business. What's one of the most common things you hear across the board from glass blowers that we struggle with? Or
What you said a little bit ago
really
is the guy that, and I'm in that role right now. You literally are fucking trying to do it all.
yeah,
And it's
all
like,
by yourself.
oh yeah. And at first, that's real shit. At first, and I think this is for, anybody that's finding, success, where you do a sale and then there's not really a break. There's a sale and then, you got to win.
Yeah.
And then, oh no, I got another sale. Oh yeah. Well, then by the third time, like that third win, and then you're still running high, like you still feel great, but then that's where like, okay, I got to start working now. And that's where like the friends start getting shoved away.
Yeah.
It's like, if you really want this to work, all right. Well then, like, so I talked to a guy
you have to make
recently.
tough choices, basically.
Yeah. Well, I talked to a guy recently, Zooted Glass, and he brought in Loudon Glass to help him. Just like you need. You need help. And he was lucky enough that he could find somebody in the studio he's at to help him. But it's like, yeah, dude, I can't fucking do it all.
Yeah.
And then talking about DMs, for anybody out there that is not necessarily a glass artist, but that's a customer, I guess, it's real shit when a glass artist says like, hey, I'm sorry I can't reply to all you guys, or because dude, if you want to represent yourself the way I feel like you represent yourself and how I represent me in the DM is like, no, you want to be honest with them. You want to be personable. You want to have a friend, like a relationship.
You don't want to
with
just say
them.
yes,
Yeah.
no, because that's more insulting. I'm the same way. I realized I couldn't give a quality response to the thousands of people that were messaging me, and I was like, you know what? I can't respond to anyone then because I cannot give a quality response that reflects the way, because I do care and I appreciate everyone. But if I just say yes or no, that opens up a conversation now. Now we have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
And if I'm short with you about everything, you're like, fuck this guy. He's got an ego. If I don't
It's
look
tough.
at any DM and if I have a message that says no DMs, at least if you get mad, then hey, I'm sorry, but you can email me. What the email does is a filter that eliminates a majority of people that maybe are just like, not really that interested.
It's right.
But at the same time, if I was a business that had like tons of product and on shelves and warehouses, I'd want every customer to be able to get through immediately.
Yeah.
So that you don't lose any sale. But like right now, those are some of our filters that eliminate not serious buyers, is being like, you have to email us.
Yeah.
And it sucks we have to be like that, but for me to actually get the glass out to people and it's already not enough, like I can't do anything but blow glass.
Yeah. So I'd say that is it's a one-man band.
Managing your business by yourself.
Yeah, and then you talked about how if that's really what you want to do and all you want to do is blow glass and be the best glass blower, best glass artist, and put out the best product or idea or innovation that
And
you got.
that's your identity, then yeah. It's
that takes a lot of fucking time.
yeah, that's a starving artist's life, because there's guys that make the sickest, they'll make $50,000-$60,000 pieces that people don't realize. They'll be like, oh, that dude sold an $80,000 piece. That doesn't mean that dude's like rich or has $80,000. Like the money and the time people spend on stuff, it's like they break even, a lot of these people. And it's like, yeah, like they'll have some money for a little bit, but then it's gone. Like there's no consistency.
So, well, I won't really ask you, but I'll just basically make the statement that, I've been in the industry, as a shop owner since September 1 of 15. That's not forever, but it's long enough to where it's like, okay, yeah, that dude's probably got a PhD in the program.
Yeah.
Living it every day. And man, let's just be honest. You're not probably going to be a millionaire being a glass artist.
I don't know about that.
No, I mean, it's just going to be
You got to work hard.
You
as
are
fuck.
going to
Okay,
be
here's what it is.
hard.
I don't think you're going to be a millionaire from the products you're making with your hands.
Yes.
I think the products you make with your hands are a stepping stone to other things that make you more money.
Yes. Because you're not one-dimensional.
No.
Yeah.
See, with me, I was like, I'm already working all day. How can I add more value to my time? Film it. That's all I can do because I can't make an 8th day of the week and I can't clone myself. So if I want to add more value to my time, let's just film it. So I do Twitch. I just stream Twitch all the time.
Yeah.
I just do anything.
Now, what does that do? So, because I really...
I mean, Twitch pays me a very small amount of money, like maybe like $100-200 a month. It's nothing. But
so is that somebody watching you that's
Twitch?
Like, yeah, is that like somebody tipping you? Or are you getting ad revenue?
It's ad revenue. Some people tip. It's mostly ad revenue though. But my Twitch channel is really small, and but the reason I'm doing all of it is because when I started glass blowing, my Instagram was really small. When I started my podcast, it's still really small. But like, I don't look at things. I'm not trying to find a physical return, and I'm not trying to get rich overnight, and I'm not even really trying to get rich. What I'm trying to do is build something that's a legacy I can be proud of, and something that when my daughter's 10 in 8 years and she wants rollerblades, I can fucking get them for her.
Yeah.
I don't want her to be like, man, honey, 8 years ago your dad was killing it. Fuck, man, everyone wanted my shit. Like, but now I suck.
Yeah.
So sorry, honey, we can't get rollerblades this year. Like, that's what I fear. I fear that I won't be able to support and just be able to just take care of them. So like, yeah, bro, like, I don't even know what my point is. I always get lost. It always goes back to family with me, dude. I don't mean to. I'm very repetitive about that shit, but it's kind of how my mind's wired because that's all I do. Just work and think about why I'm working.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man.
It's an obsession. All right, so here's another one. What's one of the like most common, like when you interview these glass blowers, what's a big thing a lot of them are like excited about? Do you hear like a common collab that everyone wants to collab with, like a person, like the most common name, or like, because like we asked kind of like a somber thing, like what's the most stressful thing? Now I kind of want to do a positive thing, like what's something like across the board you hear from a lot of glass blowers that they found in the industry, maybe they love, that changed their life, or anything like that like is some sort of positive, or even a recent one you heard from someone that was kind of something positive they got out from it?
Honestly, like you asked that question, and what comes to mind right off the top of my head is, I would say 99% of them, if you know, give or take, you know, it's the community.
Yeah.
No, it literally, and that's it for me. Even.
Yeah, just being part of that. Yeah.
You had said, you know, you wanted to be a part of a group of people that you felt accepted in, and when you grow up, you know, when you're smoking weed and it's illegal, and you're not necessarily hiding it, but you know, you have to be kind of on your toes about it, because nobody wants to get even written up for a citation. I used to sit in parking lots
for hours.
But nobody wants a ticket. Nobody wants to be harassed. Like, okay, yeah, man, I'm smoking weed. Fuck you. Like, is it bothering you? No. Okay. If somebody said like, hey, can you like take that over there?
Yeah.
I'd probably be more than happy to, you know? But I think it's a feeling of acceptance, because we're all,
for sure.
But we're all fucking weird.
Yeah.
We all have our fucking quirks. Let's just be honest. I mean, I have plenty of quirks.
Well, people that are trying to be too perfect kind of scare me. That's why I don't like a lot about like people you see on the news and stuff, is they're all like trying to like be so perfect. You can tell they're so nervous about looking ugly or this or that. And I'm like, just fucking be yourself, and that's going to be way more attractive and people will relate to way more. If you look like shit that day, is what it is. What it is.
Because you walk into Walgreens or QT or whatever you do that.
Whatever. I mean, you wore the wrong sweater, you look frumpy, is what it is. Like, deal with it. Like, it's life. Like, anyone that's trying to be perfect, like, you know, like, that's trauma too, though. Everyone's got it, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Life's wild. Dude, yeah, like, so how did you, like, get so interested in glass? Was it literally just smoking a bong for the first time with that friend, or, like, was
I think that's my personality.
Yeah.
You know, I can even go back to, you know, I like cars, and I can even look at it, like, now, you know, bikes, you know, because of the triathlon past. I wanted to have something that was unique. I wanted to have the best that I could probably possibly afford for
Yep.
what I could afford. And sometimes, yeah, that's got me in some financial trouble because I'll overextend myself
yeah,
and
we
it
all
bites
do
you in
it.
the ass. But no, man, I think it's that. You know, hey, man, you want to smoke some weed? Sure. What's that? It's a bong. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's that about? Where'd you get it? Oh, I got it at this shop. So, you know, you go to the shop. Or
Yeah.
that's me. That's literally me just telling you really quickly, like
Yeah.
the scenario.
That's essentially what happened to me too. I like walked into a head shop. I was like, oh my god, how many different kinds there are.
Yeah.
And I was like, all the different perks, and then I was like hooked. Like, and like as far as like cars kind of relating to that, it's like all the different parts and components you can make and to create all these different functioning pieces.
Yeah.
I loved that idea because I had a mechanical mind. I was always like, oh, I like the idea of putting a bunch of small things together to create one big object that functions. That's why I love Banjo's work too, because it's like a bunch of little pieces put together to make one big object. So cool. But like, yeah, mine's essentially the same story. You know, smoked a bong for the first time and I was like, whoa, like I've been smoking blunts. Like, what's this?
For me, it was like, and I really do this fucking mentally, is I break shit down into the microscopic details and I'll go to that level.
Yeah.
And I really will. And so it's like with glass, you know, I had a collection and I hid stuff. You know, I had it all in book bags. I had two book bags and it had, I think at the height of it, there was like 37 pipes in there.
Holy shit.
And you know, we're going back 2001, 2002, 2003, you know, that's when I was really buying this stuff. And you couldn't really find out info on it. Fact. Like, if you asked me, hey man, who made that?
You wouldn't know.
I didn't know.
There was no Instagram. There was like there was really nothing.
No.
I don't even think glasspipes.org was even then either. I don't think there was anything.
No. Because it was still, you know, you got buzzed in the back door, the side of the building, because that's where the shop was. And then you walk in, it's all dark fucking purple. The carpet's black.
Dude, I always tell people I feel so lucky that like I started blowing glass when I did. Like, obviously I'm a hard worker, but like there has to be some luck involved too with success. Like, and the luck isn't just like, oh, you got lucky. It's like, well, you did. You started it the right year. Maybe you started the right month and like you posted the right day. I started when we had Instagram. It's the day I started blowing glass, I had an Instagram. So I was like, oh, I'll start posting my shit on here.
Yeah.
Like, there is some luck involved, you know, but a lot of it is hard work. And what I found too is that there's a lot of hard work, but the really, really hard work begins is once people are paying attention. Now that like where I'm at with everything that's going on with my company, there's like a lot of people looking. We're working in the background with really, really big companies and like with stuff that I don't know if other pipe artists have done yet, which is like, I think like stepping stones to getting us more mainstream with, you know, basically getting more people like investing in our industry so that it can grow for everyone. So there's, you know, because there's food for everyone here. I don't think one person's going to get successful and take it all. I think there's food for every company, every person, but we need to have that mentality. So the people that are people that are running ahead of the pack, that are blazing the path and creating it, they need to be aware of the people behind them so they're able to build some sort of stepping stone or path for them to follow too, so the industry grows and other people can invest in it.
And that, I think in that, you know, the question that you asked me is, I had it and then I lost it.
It's okay, Greg.
Fail. Here you are. You're the one like, dude, I'll get so far down that I'll forget. And then here it happens to me. But no, that's it. Is the feeling of community, I think, really is it. A lot of guys, you know, they'll isolate themselves.
Oh, like, big time.
And that's not necessarily all their fault. I mean, it's choice. Yeah. We all have choice. And then you talk about luck. Luck really starts to get involved with action. You got to fucking show up. Yeah. Like, and if you are a glass artist that's out there right now and you're 1 month in, again, I'm not a glass artist. You're getting a mind, you're getting a perception from a shop owner. Dude, I still
don't feel like a glass artist. I feel like a construction worker that like blows glass. Like,
but all the artists that I have watched and that I've built relationships with since I started, you know, the business as a shop owner, the ones that really, really that really have had success, like I'll reference MC Squared.
Yeah.
I bought one of the first recyclers that young man made, and it was more or less of me just giving a kid that I don't know a shot, you know, for my shop. And I was a young shop owner supporting him at the time.
Yeah.
But that dude put himself every day in a position of success.
Yeah.
He put his head down.
Just work.
He didn't necessarily put blinders on.
I listened to his Glass Chat. That was a really good one. Anyone that hasn't heard the MC Squared Glass Chat.
But he would say is, I could honestly say out of hey Greg, who's somebody that you've really seen like really go from 0 to they're there,
Yeah.
but they got to keep showing up. Like you said, you got to, once you get success,
You have to work even harder.
You have to keep going.
Yeah, that's once as everyone's looking, you got to work harder.
And he is, for me, if I had to pick one guy out, and again, sorry, if I had to pick one, I would pick him because I've just seen him really,
He kills it. His work's beautiful.
He just, sometimes it's nice when somebody just shuts their mouth and they do it, and then when they put the piece of art or the piece of work right there in front of us and we can see it, and it's dialed in.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. No,
All day.
His work's super clean. The function's super on point. You guys got to give MC Squared Glass. MC Squared Glass, right? I've been following for years.
Yeah,
too.
MC Squared. Yeah, MC Squared Glass. Too. Yeah.
His work's dope. So many sick artists. It's crazy too, dude. There's always a new artist every day too. So that's why it's like the more that like people like me and you invest into doing production work, because like on the real, like me and you just put money into this. We just put money, like you put your time and money into Glass Set, just like I just put my time and money into this, because we believe that like with time and money and sharing this with people, like this could build like our industry up.
Yeah.
These could be parts, these could be cornerstones and ways and reference points of some sort of professionalism and a doorway for people that maybe don't even smoke, but they just want a window on a different, culture, people that are working just like you, but we're working on a thing you didn't even know was a career. Like the guy that put up my fence, he like kept looking in here while we were working, asking me questions like about the fence. He's like, do you want this here, this there? And then all of a sudden he's like, what are you guys doing in here? Started looking. Then he made a list. He asked me what torch, and they made a list. And like literally a week later, he had an Instagram. He was posting up stuff he was making. I was like, uh-oh. Like I showed a guy like me. This is a guy like me. He's gonna work hard, and he's got 2 kids already too. Like I'm like, I love that. Like it's like almost like a window and like to the American dream still being alive. It's like it hasn't been corporate takeover yet.
Yeah, it is.
Like and there's different paths for everyone. You can be the artist, like, and do like follow the paths like the banjos or the Joe Peters and do like the super high end stuff. You can do like stuff like I'm doing, where like I want to do like super high end, but I really want I want the general public smoking my glass. I want them feeling the function. I want it to be the daily driver. I want it to be in the zeitgeist. I want it to be part of people's rituals daily that they use these RBRs. It doesn't need to be, even if they just have a simple clear one and it's not their cool piece that they bring to the sesh, but when they get home, it's the piece they can't wait to smoke before they go to bed because it's just dialed.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want it to be true, like, for humans.
Yeah.
Like, like, I don't know. I'm fucking crazy though, bro.
But see, and the vibe I get from you, and I'm basically, this will somehow be a question, but like, I'll reference a few guys like Nathan Belmont. I don't know if you know him, or
of course.
Jupiter Nelson or
Yeah.
Nielsen, but like those 2 guys, and those guys know each other, and those guys have spent what I would call growth time together. Where they've worked together in not like this, but similar to this probably. Where they're actually like in the lab working together, and that's what I think I love about the industry, is because like you can pick kind of lanes.
Yeah,
you really can. You can pick I can be a fan of 6-foot beakers and rip it. I can be a fan of an RBR.
And that's what I love about the industry. Yeah. I want an industry where there's something for everyone. There's different lanes for everyone, and there's food for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't.
The one thing I will say though is I wish that our industry, if our artist, and I told you, is about the community, the one thing that I wish on social media that would just fucking chill out is stop busting each other's balls.
Oh yeah,
that's the biggest thing for me.
I don't go after anyone. I don't say shit to anyone. I just work hard. Like, we all have moments where the ego gets a little frustrated. Maybe you're irritated about something, but I never engage, because I'm like, I'm irritated for like 10 minutes. I smoke a joint. I see my daughter, and I'm like, dude, you're irritated because your own shit.
Yeah.
Your own ego. Like, just keep working. Keep your head down. Focus on your shit. It's normal for people to get, especially if talking about artists that are like by themselves working all the time and stuff. If like, it's normal for people to get overwhelmed or overthink, or maybe see someone post something a certain way and think it's referring to them or whatever. Like, it's normal human psyche for shit like that to happen. But what's the other part of that is you have to have the rationale to catch yourself and be like, whoa, why was I doing that?
Yeah.
Like that's, even if you can't help that you do it, but you have to be ready to catch yourself and stop yourself before you make an ass of yourself.
Yeah.
Because we all make asses of ourselves.
I mean, the world for me, like the world takes all kinds.
Yeah,
it really
absolutely.
does. And I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna throw something into the fire just politely, but like import shops.
Yeah.
Okay, shops that might only have 5 headies in the shop or 5 American pieces in the whole shop, and the rest is import, or vice versa.
It's a stepping stone to getting people to buying the American
Yeah,
stuff, though.
or
you need it.
There are the straight up tobacco only. It's like the 7-Eleven for cannabis or tobacco. Where they have the plastic, they have the graphics and the yada yada.
Oh, dude, I have collectors and people watch the podcast that don't even own one of my RBRs. They maybe own a China one, but they love the podcast. They smoke their import one or India one, wherever it came from. I don't care the region it came from. It's an import one, whatever.
But the industry as a whole, there's lanes for all of us.
But these people are excited. They're like watching the podcast. They're smoking their RBR that they could afford. Whatever. Like when China's or whatever country's sending RBRs over here, like that's not affecting my market.
No, not at all.
The people buying those aren't going to buy the $500 or $600 RBR because they need that money to pay their bills and get weed. Like they'd rather spend $400 or $500 on a bag of weed. I've been there too. We all have different points in our lives where our priorities, what we can afford, and where we're at.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like, I never hate on those people. I have people that'll like hit me up like, "I love your work, man. I have this one, and I hope to get a real one someday."
Yeah.
I don't even get mad at them. I'm like, dude, I'm excited that you like my work, that you're reaching out to me. I appreciate that you're like doing whatever you can to just experience something similar.
Yeah.
Whatever you gotta do. Thank you for watching the podcast. Like, I'm taking care of my family. Like, that shit's not affecting me. Like, but I see other artists sometimes that definitely get frustrated with each other online about stuff. And like, honestly, some of these dudes should just come together. If they're both like really skilled in doing stuff, they should just come together and fucking build a company and crush shit out and make even more money and build a bigger brand.
Yeah.
Like some of these dudes out there that make like really sick carb caps, they could take on bigger orders. They don't even have to work in the same studio. They could, coordinate and be like, all right, dude, I'm going to take the East Coast. Like we'll hire someone that'll book all our orders for us. We'll both crush out the caps. You make them in Colorado, I'll make them in New England, and we'll fucking just fill shop orders.
Take notes, people. Take notes. It's a business plan right here.
Well, seriously though, like if you have skill and you have a way to work together with someone and then pay someone to help you organize it and figure it out, maybe don't make as much money for a year and work harder than you ever had and make less. But then once it's established, the fucking train's rolling, the machine's going, you're making money. A lot of these dudes are skilled enough. That's one thing with me. I'm like, hopefully someday like people get that mentality and everyone's not trying to fight over one pile. And we can build a really good industry for our collectors.
Yep.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build something too for the people that are trying to invest in supporting it. Let's make the best glass. Let's make the most fun. Let's have everyone's Instagram page be like a fucking TV channel where people can get a different vibe that they enjoy. Maybe this person's deep. This one's silly. Why do you think Matthias and other influencers that do cannabis stuff have such big followings? Because people want to escape and they want to go escape somewhere where cannabis is just normal.
And fun. Yeah.
And that's like what I'm trying to do with my podcast too. It's definitely different than a lot of other people's shit. Because my solo ones, like we've done over 40 episodes now, and like a lot of solo ones, over 30 have been solos. And I just fucking talk about life, dude. I just smoke and talk and reflect, and then we talk about function. We show glass too, but it's like, it's weird. But it's almost like a digital like journal, like me recording my life so that, hey, if God forbid something ever happens to me, my daughter's going to have fucking tons of stuff of me talking about deep shit, talking to her grandfather.
She knew you got really baked on that one episode.
Yeah, that one episode. Like, it's funny. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to hide any of that from her.
No, it's funny.
Like,
I'm just giving you shit.
But yeah, like that's... Yeah,
I do want to ask you one question, though. On the real, we talk about a lot. We've talked about actually just covered about almost every basis in this industry as far as the glass side of things. But with all of that being said, what's your opinion of the shops as a whole? Like, how do you feel about shops? How do you feel about selling direct to customers? Like, really, because when I interviewed you, I was a shop owner, know, and actively in it. So what is your perception of shops? How do you feel about shops?
I think that we have to have the shops. I think wholesale is important, and building those relationships with stores is very important if everybody holds up their end. Now, if you're really hot for a bit and your glass is selling out instantly, of course the shops want your work. 3 or 4 years down the road, you've made shops hundreds of thousands of dollars, but if work slows down, are they still going to order from you to help support your family and let them sit on the shelves maybe for 4 or 5 months till they sell out? Or are they just done with you? So did you just make someone a bunch of money, or are these relationships going to last the test of time? We're like, hey, this dude made me 200 grand over the last couple of years. Like, he needs an order right now. I'm going to take care of his family.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of like handshakes, but there's no contracts. I also think from an artist and glassblowers point of view, the thing I'm talking about, organization, working together, we're not doing that. So it's difficult for any artist that gets hot to meet any sort of demand and have a consistency that makes sense for a shop to continue investing in. Because for them to make money and budget things out, they need orders quarterly a certain way. They have to be able to rely on that. There's a lot of different things and logistics involved, and a lot of glassblowers are just normal people doing it all by themselves, and life happens. The order comes 2 months late. Shit happens here and there. So as artists, we have to find a way to build our companies and industry more professionally and with like safety nets that make it so there is some consistency for the stores as well. Yeah. So what I think where we're at is I think we need everyone, but I think the industry is still so young and still so new, and people need to keep working hard to have an idea of building something bigger than themselves that's a legacy, and not just pay enough money so that they can continue to play Xbox at night and just chill or whatever. Like, they have to think of it like, oh, I'm a machine. I create capital, and then that capital is used to help other people become part of the machine, and then they create capital, and then we all work together so that there's some sort of economy in our local area, and that economy helps more families, and then this is how we build up our fucking country. So it's more of like, you have to think more about, again, the people around you and not just your individual success. It's I don't know, it's complicated.
So I agree with all that, and my 2 cents is for any glass artists that is out there, coming from a shop owner, is when you sell something wholesale, so let's just fact, I'm just going to throw a number. So let's say that's wholesale 300, and let's say, you know, in the standard glass industry markup is double. I'm just being honest so people know. It's
that's
double.
How all my stuff was.
Yep, that's just it.
100% markup.
So people can feel that way how they want. That's okay. And so from an artist perspective is when a guy like me, you know, where it was my money. Like, it was not an investor money. Like, it was my money.
Like, and physical money.
No, and so that is a part of me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I'm investing in you, dude.
Yeah.
And I hope that in some way you feel as connected as I do.
Yeah.
Because it's not a money deal, or it wasn't really a money deal for me sometimes. And it's happened to me a few times, and it hurt. Like, it hurt almost emotionally because I would make an order from an artist, and he was selling a pipe at, you know, $220, and so I was going to put the pipe at $450.
Yeah.
Fact, like, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Bought them. They were $220. I put all 3 of them at $450. And then fucking the pipe showed up. Not even a fucking week later, on his Instagram, is the same pipes, just different colors. Dibs at $250 shipped.
Yeah.
And there were 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I saw that. And I didn't say anything to him.
Yeah.
But I looked at that and I was like, so hold on, man.
If you do that,
I just paid $220 for 3 of them because I had to make your minimum, which was $500. So I got the minimum and I spent that money. But now if I didn't sell them for $450, fine. But so if I was going to even sell them for $300, you literally just cut the legs right off underneath me on a business standpoint.
Here's what goes back to what I just said. It's
Yeah.
like there has to be some sort of consistency,
Yeah.
like contracts. Like, whereas one thing I'm running into is I give the shops 100% markup, and then what they're doing is they're marking them up 120, 150%. And the customers are like, I paid this much for it from the shop. I'm like, you paid $200 more than retail. And they're like, well, there's such demand. And the shop's like, well, there's such demand. You know, we're charging more for them. And I'm like, I get that. And they're like, you need to raise your prices, man. I'm like, no, the prices are fine. Like, for what I'm making right now. Back when I was like, what I'm making right now, this is where I feel is fair for people. Like, I don't want to like price myself out again. Like, I want to build slowly. Like, if the glass keeps getting nicer, well, if there's more time put in, we up it up, you know, $25 a piece wholesale or something, whatever. We'll compensate for that time if we can. But I don't just want to arbitrarily charge more because the market said so. Like, that's, if you want.
So that's you. That's the artist communicating and almost educating the shop.
Yeah.
And that's also the artist.
But that's like an agreement. There's gotta be, like, that's how we are, but there's like an agreement and professionalism where, like.
But then there's power within being the beholder, I guess, of the pipe or the art is, okay, dude, you don't fucking follow my agreement, then I want you to be on my team, but I don't necessarily need you because you're not a team player, quote unquote. So, you know what? You won't get next drop.
Yeah.
It actually.
That's happened to shops with me.
Yeah, no, it's real.
Yeah.
Yep. And the vice versa. It's happened again, like that scenario.
I've
where
had
it's
shops tell customers, be like, oh, it's this much, and the customer DMs them too many times, and they're like, I'm charging you $200 more if you want this piece now, just for annoying me. And the customers will pay it because they want them so bad.
Wow.
Yeah, where it's like, and then I see this, and I'm like, I'm staying up all night, literally killing myself. My family's not seeing me because I'm working my ass off constantly. And then people are out there just getting rich and taking advantage of customers that I've made love this brand. I was like, if they're not representing my brand right, my brand's going to fall off, and it's going to be because everyone made their money, and then I'm going to be sitting in a ditch with all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do it. So I'm trying to still figure out a way right now how we can. We can't even produce these clears as fast as we used to because we've changed a bunch of stuff. They're so much nicer. So we're trying to get the formula down so we can actually produce these a little more consistently. So we can get back to some sort of wholesale. But
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of need one.
But I need to we have to find a way to have some sort of agreement with stores or a contract where we can protect the customers if we're going to do that. Because it's like a lot of the stores I worked with this year pre-sold a lot of the glass too. I had one store pre-sell 60 pieces. Pre-sell 60 pieces, nuts.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, and it's like I feel like taking advantage of people and stuff and whatever, and then the shops. It's a complicated subject, but yeah.
Well, hey, kudos to you, man.
Yeah.
No, I mean no bullshit. Like from me to you, like regardless of how you feel and how anybody, like kudos to you, dude. You're there.
Trying, man.
But you talk about like you feeling there and you just got to keep fighting.
Yeah.
You're in that fighting phase.
Oh, I feel like I'm in the trenches right now.
Yeah.
With my long sword just fucking swinging and going through.
But kudos to you for lasting that long in the battle, because it in the 5 inches up here.
Yeah.
It's
it's stupidity and too much willpower and
a little bit of this.
Too much pride. The pride is really what gets me. I grew up with a father who was so about like heritage and like pride and your family name and your family seal and your clan and whatever, this crazy shit. So we're
I'm gonna finish this.
Viking, Scottish heritage. But yeah, dude, fucking this was fun, man. This was a fun interview, dude. Thank you. Where can people find Glass Chat and all those things?
So Glass Chat, we put it on SoundCloud. That's how you get that RS feed. I don't know if you know that. All that.
No, I do. I just for anyone that's never heard of you, that's what I always say. Like, you have you tell it.
SoundCloud. It's on Apple, iTunes. It's on Google Play. I think it's on Shopify. People, supporters of Glass Chat have been kind of, or at least the YouTube followers have been pushing me. Man, we've had a rough go with YouTube as far as uploading. And finally,
it's hard, dude.
Finally, I just looked at my homie Matt. He's Lars on Instagram, but he's easily spent probably damn near 15 hours just trying to fucking get one video to cooperate on an upload, and it wouldn't. And so finally, I just told him. I think it was around like 75 or something. I was like, dude, no. Yeah. We tried. This isn't necessarily about money. This is about,
we just need to get the content out consistently.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck it, don't even worry about it. But we've kind of figured it out that it was probably a computer issue that we were having. Yeah. And internet sometimes. Well, no. In fact, it was the data. We think that we had way too much data on this computer. Oh, okay, yeah. And it was trying to upload and compressing files, and then it would get so far, and then it would just go. Yeah. Well, then you just trial and error.
So you're trying to eventually get back to putting stuff up on YouTube and stuff?
So we, before I left, we figured this out.
Nice.
So it hasn't been too long. But yeah, we're going to go back to really getting stuff back on YouTube for those guys and gals. Yeah, that's it, man. Glass Chat it's all about, for me, I don't want to be selfish, but I will be selfish. It's for me.
Yeah, you want to know. You're like, I'm interested.
Yeah, dude. Almost like just anything. I really want to know. And I want to know...
the story and
why
how that happened, how was that created, how it happened, everything.
Why that, and then why you, and then it goes back to me, like the intimacy level as a shop owner that I was is, man, who are you? Yeah. Because being a shop owner the way I was is storytelling can sell shit. Yeah. And so the more I know, the more educated I am. I don't want to say powerful, but I guess the better salesman I can be. I can be a little more powerful. I can be a little more influential.
How I look at it is the more educated you are as a salesman, the more comfortable and educated you can make your customer. And the more educated and comfortable your customer is, the more consistently they'll enter the store and maybe eventually actually commit to the purchase. If not, after they leave your store, if you educated them and taught them a bunch about a pipe, later that night when they're at a sesh with their friends, they're going to be like, I know something that you don't know.
That's the win right there.
And they're going to feel smart for a minute.
Yeah.
They're going to tell their friends all these things about a pipe they know. And then the one friend that's like, fuck, I just got paid. I'll fucking go get it right now, dude. And then they go get it. This is what I saw every day when I used to sell pipes in a head shop. And it's just because I'm that guy. I'm so easy to sell shit to. If the salesman's excited, I get excited.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fucking, let's get it.
And then
like,
so the salesman in me, he's like, I'm doing a moonwalk in my head, like I'm reeling this guy in. I got him.
But dude, and where can they find 710 Tools? You guys got an Instagram?
So 710 Tools has an Instagram, 710tools.com. You can buy direct from me. Shipping's included and everything if you're in the U.S. if you buy from us. But coming from where I'm at, and I guess in some ways trying to stay true to the industry, is I really feel like shops are vital.
Absolutely, for a product like this.
No, I'm just saying in general,
yeah,
for the
vital
whole,
or-
as a
yeah,
whole.
yeah.
Because you can break down that and put that in its own little lane.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But as a whole,
they
for
absolutely
education, for people to get things, on the daily.
Well, how many people like to go? It's realistically, if you want everyone going after your product too, like a lot of people like to go into the store and talk to a human
Touch
to buy
it, feel it.
something. Not a lot of people are comfortable buying something over the internet because a lot of people get scammed. So we absolutely need the shops. But on both ends, the shops and the smaller, companies that maybe don't have the ability to be super consistent, we all need to find some sort of balance.
Yep.
Or glass artists need to come together and build up companies as a team and realize that you have to make a little sacrifice, maybe make a little less so that the long run you all can make a little bit more.
Well, I mean, if you really want to talk heady business shit, how many of us really buy, and I don't drink Coke, but I'll use Coke as the example, but how many of us buy Coke directly from Coke?
Dude.
Coke is in the wholesale industry. They take a product, they sell it to a distributor, and the distributor takes it to Walgreens or McDonald's or wherever. But
I like to look at Vans shoes where you can buy them off their website or PacSun or the Vans store. You can get them anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just but they're still a viable company. I think that if things are advertised right, promoted enough, and there's consistency, there's plenty of customers.
But that's where, like I said, talking, regardless if it's a brand or a glass artist or a glass company, but if there's a polite understanding, this is the wholesale price, gentlemen. Yeah. And this is about the retail price. We understand that sales are going to happen. We understand closeouts. We understand the seasonal deals. Yeah. We get it. But for the whole, if there's this very nice balance from a business standpoint, I think that in the long run, and I know some of the people in the industry don't like capitalism, but the fact is you are essentially probably selling the art for cash. So you're in the system.
Well, I think people are wild. They're what are we? We're all, even if you're an artist working, no matter what you're doing, we're all trying to create income so that we can take care of our family and survive. That's but whatever. That's just one thing you run into as an artist. Sometimes people, if they see you doing good, they're like, oh, that guy's done good enough, don't support him. But it's a weird thing, or they're sell out, you sell too much glass or whatever. But I don't know, those are just personalities you run into any industry. But guys, don't forget to check out bmsglass.com, where you guys can sign up for my newsletter, check out our upcoming drops, all that stuff. I really want to thank Greg for coming in today. He traveled all the way out here, and we were lucky enough to catch him while he was doing his run for 710 Tools. And appreciate all you guys that support the What's Up Everybody podcast. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and we will see you next time.
Sweet, dude. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that, man.
Oh, dude, we're going to love it.